folks, this is Corey Martin. Welcome to week 9. You're on the downhill swing. You're almost done. In fact, if you right click the calendar and take a look, let's get to June, you'll notice that we're right in this week right here. Then you have these 2 weeks. Not a lot of assignments will be due. I might add 1 or 2 small pieces within this week, within this week. And then you'll have project 3, the big one, and then a little mini project, which is kind of a reflection of the course, and you're done. So the couple things that I just want to make sure folks are aware of that I've gotten a couple emails on is on project number 3, you are responding to this prompt right here. In fact, if you go to the working thesis discussion board, which I have actually responded to everyone who posts, I noticed Michael Richardson, our embedded tutor, did, and you are responding well to each other. Please take a look at that. I also have embedded submission comments for you if you'd like to just look at it privately. I'm not going to score that until your replies are due, which would be on Thursday. But that thesis, the big thing is that it has to be what would be gained and what would be lost. So there's a positive and a negative for this particular class. You have to address both of those in your thesis and therefore in your essay. The question that folks have asked is, do I need to pull in from this essay, Why College Freshmen Need to Take 101? And the short answer is yes. So it is a response to a prompt, which means you absolutely are going to have to include down here quotes and or paraphrases from this text somewhere in your essay. Probably the best way to do it is a brief summary, somewhere between 3 to 5 sentences early on, maybe in your introduction or in the second paragraph, that kind of say, here's what this why college freshmen need to take Emotions 101. You're going to say, Diana DeVetch and Robin Stern in their essay, Why College Freshmen Need to Take 101, assert, and then you'll give their thesis. Use your reading chart that you've already filled out. So the rationale for me having you do the reading chart is now you have a document that has these really important either quotes or paraphrases from that essay, and you can use those in your essay. So you've already kind of got them set out there. So you're going to do that. Then you're going to answer with your thesis. Again, go back to that discussion board. Here's what they think about having Emotions 101. Here's what I think about Emotions 101 at SPSCC. And then you'll spend the essay has to be at least 3 full pages. So you'll spend the next probably 2.5 pages, because you'll have done a half a page of kind of summary and introduction, telling us why this is. So you will use their text probably several times within there to kind of back up what you're saying. Even if you disagree with them, you can still use their text to show that you disagree. For, DeVitch and Stern say blah and give a quote, and however, I think that this doesn't work because of this. So you're going to kind of argue against them, and that's fine. Or absolutely, they make a good point here. That seems like it would be exactly the same at SPSCC. So either way, you're still using their text. The other question I had is, can I use personal experience? For sure. You absolutely can use your own personal experience in this essay, especially if you've had to take a class like that, or maybe you took HDEV 101, which is a different type of support class, and here's why it worked. Or your personal experience of, I work 3 jobs, I have 4 children, there's no way that I could add 1 more class on. Or a couple folks have talked about life experience. I feel like maybe a younger student or a brand new student would need Emotions 101, but someone who's actually had a couple jobs or had some life experience maybe wouldn't need this. So use your own personal experience. That's absolutely fine. The one thing you cannot use here is no outside research. So other than this text, there should be no outside research in this particular essay. It's not a research essay. I don't want to have to grade for that. It just can bring in plagiarism. Just no outside research, please, on this one. And then the other question that I had from folks is the revision for rescore. So a couple folks said, oh gosh, I'm right on the edge with my grade. How does that work? So if you go to the calendar, you can click revisions for the revisions that are due. I will also embed a page in our week 9. But basically, when you open it up, you get this big piece of writing from me. The bottom line is you can revise Project 1 you can revise project 2 or you can revise both. You will actually, when you revise them, it just means you make them stronger and better using my advice. Go to the Writing Center, use eTutoring. You have to submit some sort of a memo with them, though, telling me what you changed and why you changed it. So you can't just go back and fix some typos or spelling errors. There actually needs to be more to it. So if you do fix some grammar issues, tell me why you did. If you added something, oh, it was too short the first time. Okay, I added this. I didn't realize I needed to paraphrase. I had quoted, so now I went back and paraphrased. So whatever it was that you did to fix project 1 or project 2, I need a brief memo. It could just be attached at the end, or it could be a separate Word document. And then you always will get a better grade. I will always give you the stronger grade. If for some reason it goes kind of wonky and you don't get, sorry for the car alarm in the background, and you don't get a better grade, I would just keep your original grade. So I will never grade you down. It would never affect your grade in a negative way. And then the last piece is, a couple folks have asked about English 98 101. I'm going to go ahead and embed a little piece about English 98 101 into our week 9 module, so you can look for that if you'd like more information. As always, let me know what's going on, how I can help you, and then don't forget the conference with Corey. That is actually an assignment for this week. I've given you 3 ways to connect with me. Please make sure you set up that time as soon as possible. Thanks.